Jared, early 30s, scruffy and anxious, paced beside the hospital bed, casting furtive glances at the newborn baby swaddled in white. Anna, mid-20s, pale but glowing, lay on the bed, her gaze fixed on their child with unwavering love. The room was filled with the soft beeping of medical machines and the occasional murmur of hospital staff passing by. "Anna, we need to talk." Anna turned to him, a hint of concern in her eyes. "What's wrong, honey?" Jared hesitated, his heart pounding. He took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. "This baby, he doesn't look like us." Anna's brow furrowed as she looked from Jared to their daughter, then back at Jared. "What do you mean?" Jared ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident in his voice. "Her hair, it's black. Neither of us has black hair. And her eyes, they're brown. Yours are blue, mine are green." Anna chuckled softly, reaching out to stroke the baby's cheek. "Oh, Jared, it's just genetics. Recessive genes can pop up unexpectedly." Jared's anxiety didn't subside. He continued pacing, his movements jerky and restless. "But it's not just that. She doesn't feel like mine." Anna's smile faded, replaced by a look of hurt and confusion. "Jared, what are you saying?" Jared's voice dropped to a whisper. "Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure she's mine?" Anna recoiled as if struck. Tears welled up in her eyes, her voice shaking. "Of course I'm sure. How could you even ask that?" "I'm sorry, I know it's a terrible thing to say, but..." "But what?" Jared looked away, unable to meet her gaze. His mind swirled with doubts and fears he couldn't shake. "I don't know what to think anymore." Anna took a deep breath, composing herself. She reached out and took Jared's hand, her touch gentle but firm. "Jared, look at me. Look at our daughter. She is yours. This baby is a part of you. A part of us." Jared looked at Anna, the pain and doubt evident in his eyes. He squeezed her hand, his voice barely audible. "I want to believe you, Anna. I really do." Anna squeezed his hand back, her eyes filled with both sadness and unwavering love. "I know you do, my love. And you will. Just give it time." The door to the room opened, and Dr. Martinez, 40s, composed and professional, entered, carrying a clipboard. He immediately sensed the tension in the room. "Is everything all right here?" Jared hesitated, then spoke up, his voice steady but firm. "Dr. Martinez, could we redo the blood type test, just to double-check?" Dr. Martinez nodded professionally. "Of course, we can arrange that for you." Days passed in a blur of anxiety and sleepless nights. Jared immersed himself in articles and research papers about blood types and inheritance patterns, desperately searching for answers. One evening, as the sun set and the hospital room was bathed in a soft orange glow, Dr. Martinez returned with the results. He placed the report on the table beside Anna's bed, his expression grave. Jared's hands trembled as he picked up the report. He scanned the page, his eyes widening in disbelief. "This can't be right," he whispered, his voice hoarse. Anna leaned forward, her heart pounding. "What is it?" Jared looked at her, his eyes filled with a mixture of pain and betrayal. "It says the baby has type A blood." Anna's eyes widened in confusion. "But that's not possible. We both have type O." Jared nodded slowly, his voice barely a whisper. "I know, I've been reading about it. It's impossible for two people with type O blood to have a child with type A blood." A heavy silence fell over the room. Anna's mind raced, trying to make sense of the impossible. Her heart ached with a mixture of fear and confusion. Jared stood up, his eyes filled with tears. "How could you lie to me, Anna?" His voice was thick with emotion. Anna tried to maintain her composure. Jared, I'm sure this baby is ours. Yours. Her voice wavered slightly, but her gaze held his with a desperate plea for trust. Jared stormed out of the room, his mind in turmoil, leaving Anna alone with their baby, tears streaming down her face. She knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but she was determined to find the truth, no matter the cost. The once cosy and inviting living room now felt cold and empty. Anna sat on the edge of the couch, her eyes red and puffy from crying. She cradled Lily in her arms, the baby's tiny fingers grasping at her blouse. The silence in the house was deafening, punctuated only by the occasional whimper from Lily. Anna glanced at her phone, debating her next move. She had no contact information for David, the man she had been with that one time before her marriage. The uncertainty gnawed at her, driving her to a decision she never thought she'd have to make. She was sure that David couldn't be Lily's father. The dates didn't line up, and she had done her calculations right. But with everything at stake, she needed to be absolutely certain. She scrolled through her contacts and stopped at the name of a friend who knew David. It had been years since they last spoke, but Anna had no other choice. Anna's friend, Lisa, opened the door, surprised to see Anna after so long. They exchanged pleasantries, but the tension was palpable. Anna's voice was shaky. "Lisa, I need your help. It's really important." Lisa nodded, inviting her in. "Of course, Anna. What's going on?" Anna took a deep breath, explaining the situation. "I need to get in touch with David. I know it's been some time, but do you have any contact information for him?" Lisa frowned, thinking back. "I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I think I have an old email address. I'm not sure if it still works, but it's worth a try." Anna felt a flicker of hope as Lisa wrote down the email address. "Thank you, Lisa. This means so much to me." Back home, Anna composed a carefully worded email, explaining her situation without revealing too much. She pressed send, her heart pounding, and then waited. Days passed with no response, and the uncertainty grew unbearable. Determined to find answers, she decided to take a more direct approach. She dialed the number of a private investigator she had found online. "Hello, Detective Ryan. I need your help." Detective Ryan's office was dimly lit, the walls lined with filing cabinets and old case files. Ryan, a grizzled man in his 50s with a stern demeanour, sat behind a cluttered desk. He looked up as Anna entered, holding Lily in her arms. "Mrs. Thompson, have a seat. What can I do for you?" Anna settled into the chair, holding Lily close. "I need to find someone. A man named David. I don't have much information, just a first name and some vague details." Ryan nodded, pulling out a notepad. "I'll need everything you can remember. Where you met, when it was, any distinguishing features." Anna took a deep breath, recounting the details as best as she could. Ryan jotted down notes, his expression thoughtful. "I'll start my search right away. It might take some time, but I'll find him." Jared's new apartment was sparsely furnished, a stark contrast to the home he had shared with Anna. He sat alone on the couch, a bottle of whiskey and an empty glass on the coffee table in front of him. His thoughts were a chaotic mix of anger, betrayal, and longing. He picked up his phone, scrolling through photos of happier times. Photos of Anna, of their wedding day, of the moment they found out they were expecting Lily. He paused on a picture of Anna, her smile radiant as she cradled her pregnant belly. Jared's eyes welled up with tears. He missed her, missed the life they had built together. But the doubts still gnawed at him, the image of that paternity test result flashing in his mind. He took a swig from the whiskey bottle, the burn in his throat barely registering. He knew he needed to find a way to move forward, but he didn't know where to start. Days turned into weeks, and the strain on Anna was palpable. She spent her days caring for Lily and her nights worrying about the future. The wait for any news from Detective Ryan was agonizing. Her phone rang, jolting her from her thoughts. It was Ryan. "Mrs. Thompson, I have some leads. I've tracked down a few Davids that match your description. I'll need you to come to the office to see if any of them are the right one." Anna sat across from Ryan, a folder of photos spread out on the desk between them. She scanned each photo, her heart racing. Finally, she stopped on one image. "This is him. This is David." Ryan nodded, taking the photo. "I'll reach out and set up a meeting. We'll get to the bottom of this." Meanwhile, Jared lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. His mind replayed the events of the past weeks over and over. The hollow ache in his chest mirrored the emptiness of their bed. He missed Anna desperately, but the sting of betrayal and the lingering doubts about Lily's paternity kept him frozen in place. He picked up his phone, his finger hovering over Anna's contact. He wanted to call her, to hear her voice, to find some way to bridge the gap between them. But he couldn't. Not yet. Instead, he sent a message to his friend, asking for advice and support. He knew he couldn't face this alone, but he wasn't ready to face Anna either. A few days later, Anna met with David in Ryan's office. David, a tall man with dark hair and a nervous demeanour, looked as anxious as Anna felt. Anna's voice trembled as she spoke. "David, I need to know. Could you be Lily's father?" David's expression hardened as he took a step back from Anna. "This is too much," he said, his voice strained. "I'm not prepared for this kind of responsibility. If there's even a possibility that Lily is mine, it would change everything. I can't risk that." Anna was taken aback. "David, this is about finding the truth for my family. For Lily." David shook his head, his resolve firm. "I'm sorry, Anna, but I can't go through with any test. I won't risk my life. Please don't contact me again." As David walked out, Anna felt a mixture of frustration and despair. The search for answers had only become more complicated, and the burden of the secret she carried grew heavier. Meanwhile, Jared sat in a dimly lit bar, nursing a glass of whiskey. His friend, Mark, a calm and steady presence, sat across from him, listening as Jared poured out his heart. Mark offered words of encouragement and advice, his voice a steady anchor in the storm of Jared's emotions. "Listen, man," Mark said, leaning forward. "Jared, you need to find out the truth. Whatever it is, you need closure. And you need to talk to Anna. You can't keep running from this." But Jared could only shake his head, the weight of uncertainty pressing down on him. He knew that time wouldn't heal this wound until he found the truth. Anna sat at the kitchen table, staring at her phone. Her conversation with David had left her feeling defeated, but she knew she couldn't give up. Determination etched on her face. She dialed his number again, hoping he would answer. After a few rings, David's voice came through, tense and guarded. "Anna, I thought I made myself clear." "David, please, just hear me out," Anna pleaded. "I understand you have your reasons, but I'm willing to sign any legal document you need if it turns out that Lily is your daughter. I won't bother you or claim anything from you. I just need to know the truth for my family's sake." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. Finally, David spoke, his tone softened but still cautious. "You'll sign anything? You won't make any claims on my inheritance?" "Inheritance?" Anna was taken aback. "David, this isn't about money or inheritance. I just need to know the truth for my daughter and my husband." David's voice grew more resolute. "Anna, I can't risk my inheritance being compromised. If you're serious about signing a document that waives any rights to my inheritance, then I'll agree to the test." "Yes, anything," Anna replied urgently. "I just need to know." "All right," David said after another pause. "I'll need my lawyer to draft the documents. If you sign them, I'll agree to the test." "Thank you, David," Anna said, relief washing over her. "I appreciate it more than you know." Anna sat across from Detective Ryan, explaining the new development. Ryan listened intently, nodding as she spoke. So, he agreed? Ryan asked, confirming. Yes, but only if I sign a document waiving any rights to his inheritance if Lily turns out to be his, Anna replied. Ryan leaned back in his chair, considering. We can arrange that. I'll help you get in touch with a lawyer to make sure everything is handled properly. Meanwhile, across town, Mark's words continued to echo in Jared's mind. The guilt and the gnawing uncertainty had become an unbearable weight. With a surge of determination, he reached for his phone and dialed Anna's number, his heart pounding in his chest. Anna answered, her voice a mixture of surprise and relief. Jared? Anna, Jared began, his voice a tightly controlled whisper. We can't go on like this. I need the truth. Anna's heart raced. She wanted to tell Jared everything but knew she needed more time to find out the truth first. Jared, I'm working on it. There are just a few things I need to confirm before I can explain everything. Please trust me a little longer. Jared's frustration was evident, his voice rising. How much longer, Anna? I'm losing my mind here. I need answers. Just a little more time, Anna pleaded. I promise I'll tell you everything as soon as I have something concrete. Jared sighed heavily, the anger still simmering beneath the surface. Fine, but this can't drag on forever. Let me know when you have something. I will, Jared. Thank you, Anna said softly, feeling the weight of her secret. Anna found herself seated opposite David and his attorney, a man whose stern expression and silver hair hinted at years of legal experience. The attorney slid a thick sheaf of papers across the polished conference table towards Anna. This document states that you, Anna Thompson, waive any rights to Mr. David Callahan's inheritance, regardless of the paternity test results, the lawyer explained. If you sign these, we can proceed with the test. Anna read through the papers carefully, her resolve firm. She picked up the pen and signed each document, handing them back to the lawyer. David nodded, visibly relieved. All right, let's get this done. Anna and David sat in a small, sterile room, waiting for the nurse to arrive. The tension in the air was palpable. The nurse entered, taking samples from both David and Lily for the paternity test. The process was quick, but the wait for the results felt excruciatingly long. A few days later, Anna sat nervously in Ryan's office. David arrived shortly after, looking just as anxious. Ryan handed them the test results. Anna's heart raced as she opened the envelope and read the results. Her eyes widened in shock and relief. David, you're not Lily's father. David let out a sigh of relief. I told you, Anna. I didn't think it was possible. Anna felt a wave of emotions crash over her. Relief, confusion, and a renewed determination to find the truth. She knew she had to share the results with Jared and continue their search for answers. Anna sat at a corner table, nervously sipping her coffee. She had asked Jared to meet her here, away from the tensions of home. When Jared walked in, she could see the strain on his face. He spotted her and walked over, sitting down with a heavy sigh. All right, Anna, what's going on? Jared's voice was edged with frustration. Anna took a deep breath. Jared, there's something I need to tell you. Before we got married, there was one time, with a man named David. I had to find out if he was Lily's father. Jared's eyes widened, and he leaned back, processing the information. You had an affair? Why didn't you tell me? It was a mistake, Jared. It happened before we were married, and I never thought it could be possible, Anna said, her voice trembling. But I did the test, and it came back negative. David is not Lily's father. That means the only possible father is you. Jared's face contorted with confusion, sadness, and anger. He struggled to process the information, his hands clenching into fists on the table. We'll figure out the baby, Jared said, his voice tight with emotion. But why, Anna? Why the affair? Anna took a deep breath, her eyes filling with tears. I'll explain everything. But first, you need to understand that David is not Lily's father. It can only be you. Jared's eyes bored into hers, searching for answers. Go on. Anna looked down at her hands, gathering her thoughts. Before we got married, I found out something that shattered me. I found out you had an affair with Lisa, my friend. Lisa told me herself. Jared's eyes widened in shock and denial. What? That's not true. I never had sex with Lisa. Anna's voice wavered. But she told me at a party she was hosting. She said she didn't want to hurt me, but she couldn't keep it a secret anymore. I was furious and heartbroken. Jared shook his head vehemently. Anna, Lisa knew I was going to propose to you. Did you know that? She knew I was planning everything to surprise you. I don't know why she'd lie about something like this, but I swear to you, I never touched her. Anna's tears flowed freely as she absorbed his words. Oh my God, Jared. I am so sorry. I believed her, and I let my anger and hurt drive me to do something unforgivable. Jared's face twisted in anger and sadness. So you did it because you thought I cheated on you with Lisa? Anna nodded, tears streaming down her face. Yes, I was at that party, feeling betrayed and lost. I didn't plan on having revenge or an affair, but I was drinking, trying to numb the pain. That's when I met David. He made his move and I was too drunk and too hurt to resist. We had sex. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake, and I regretted it immediately. I know it doesn't justify what I did, but that's the truth. And now, with everything that's happened, I need you to understand that Lily can only be our child. David is not her father. Jared leaned back in his chair, running a hand through his hair, his emotions a tumultuous storm. This is so much to take in, Anna. I don't know what to think or feel. I need time. Anna reached out, her hand trembling as she placed it on his. I know, Jared. I'm so sorry for everything. But we need to figure this out together, for Lily's sake. Jared nodded slowly, still processing everything. I'm hurt, Anna. Confused and angry, but I can see why you thought what you did. I just hope you're not lying about Lisa, because I know I never had sex with her. Anna's eyes widened. Jared, I swear. Lisa told me herself. She said you had an affair with her. I don't understand why she would lie. Jared sighed, the weight of the situation pressing down on him. We'll figure that out later. Right now, we need to understand this blood type issue. They sat in the sterile white room of a different lab, anxiously waiting for the results of a new blood test for Lily. The atmosphere was tense, both of them on edge. A lab technician entered the room, holding a folder. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, we have the results. Your baby's blood type is A. Anna's face turned pale. That can't be right. If David isn't the father, then it has to be you, Jared. There's no other way. Jared shook his head, his confusion deepening. We need to take a step back and think this through. I want to trust you, Anna, but I can't until we find out the truth. Determined to uncover the truth, Jared had decided to confront Lisa directly. He arranged to meet her at a quiet coffee shop, his eyes fixated on hers as she approached his table. Lisa, he began, his voice low and steady. I need to know the truth. Did you ever tell Anna that we had an affair? Lisa looked genuinely surprised. Jared, I never said that. I would never lie about something like that. We never had an affair. Jared's confusion grew. Then why would Anna believe it? This doesn't make any sense. Lisa shrugged, clearly baffled. I don't know, Jared. Maybe someone else said something, or there's some kind of misunderstanding. Jared had hoped this confrontation would bring him closer to the truth, but Lisa's response only deepened the mystery, leaving him more confused than ever. One afternoon, Anna was walking through the park when she saw David sitting on a bench. She hesitated, but David noticed her and wavered. Anna walked over, her mind racing with questions. Hey, Anna, David said, his brow furrowed with concern. You seem upset. Is everything all right? Anna shook her head, feeling the weight of the situation pressing down on her. No, David. Everything is far from okay. David frowned. What's going on? Anna took a deep breath and explained everything, from the paternity tests to the accusations about Lisa. David listened intently, his expression shifting as he processed the information. Anna, there's something I need to tell you, David said finally. I was told to make a move on you by Lisa. She said you were vulnerable and that it would be easy. Anna's heart sank. What? Why would she do that? David shook his head. I don't know, but that's the truth. Determined to get to the bottom of things, Anna confronted Lisa in her apartment, her emotions a mix of anger and betrayal. Lisa, I talked to David. He said you told him to make a move on me. Why would you do that? Lisa looked genuinely bewildered. Anna, I don't know what you're talking about. I never told David to go after you. Anna felt a cold dread settle over her. Then why would David lie about that? Lisa shook her head, her expression earnest. I have no idea, but Jared and I did have sex, Anna. I'd never lie about that. Anna was now more confused than ever. Jared said he never had sex with you. Lisa's eyes filled with frustration. He's lying, Anna. I don't know why he'd deny it, but we did. You have to believe me. Anna left the room, her mind reeling. She had come seeking answers, but now she had even more questions. Lisa's words echoed in her ears, creating a storm of confusion and doubt. Could David be lying? And could Jared be lying too? The possibilities swirled in her mind, leaving her feeling lost and alone. Feeling overwhelmed by the conflicting stories and desperate for answers, Anna contacted Detective Ryan and explained the convoluted situation. Detective Ryan, there's something going on that I can't make sense of. I need to know why Lily's blood type can only be A. How is that possible? She shared details about Lisa's involvement in the situation as well. Ryan listened attentively, nodding as Anna recounted her story. When she finished, he leaned forward, his voice calm and reassuring. Anna, it's clear there's a lot to unpack here. We'll take it step by step, starting with investigating the people involved and exploring any potential connections or motives. Anna's eyes welled up with tears, a mixture of relief and exhaustion. Detective Ryan, I'm so lost. I don't know what else to do. Ryan offered a reassuring smile. Don't worry, Anna. We're in this together. We'll uncover the truth, no matter where it leads. As Anna left Ryan's office, she felt a renewed sense of determination. The road ahead was still uncertain, and with Jared asking for time apart, she was facing it alone. But she was ready to face whatever came next. She would uncover the mystery, no matter what it took, for the sake of her family. Detective Ryan sat at his desk, reviewing the notes from his conversation with Anna. He was perplexed by the conflicting stories and the peculiar blood type issue. While Lisa's emotional outburst had been convincing, Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that her involvement didn't fully explain the blood type discrepancy. He decided to delve deeper, exploring other possibilities that might have been overlooked. Ryan pulled up to Anna's childhood home, a cosy house with a white picket fence. He took a deep breath before ringing the doorbell. A moment later, Susan, Anna's mother, opened the door, a look of surprise on her face. Good afternoon, Ma'am. I'm Detective Ryan. He introduced himself. I'm investigating a matter concerning your daughter, Anna. I was hoping to ask you a few questions. Susan's face paled slightly, but she stepped aside, inviting him in. Of course, Detective. Come in. Ryan followed her into the living room, where they settled on a floral sofa. Mrs. Thompson, Ryan began, I'm here to talk to you about something personal. It might be a bit sensitive, but it's important for Anna and her family. Susan looked apprehensive, but nodded. Go ahead. We've run into a bit of a puzzle, Ryan continued. The blood type of Anna's baby doesn't match hers or her husband's. It's a mystery, and it's caused quite a bit of confusion and distress for them. I'm hoping you might be able to shed some light on it. Susan's brow furrowed. What do you mean? Is there something wrong with the baby? No, Ryan quickly reassured her. The baby is perfectly healthy, but this blood type issue suggests there might be something about Anna's family history that could explain it. Susan's eyes filled with tears. Detective, what are you saying? Ryan decided to rephrase his question. Mrs. Thompson, can you think of anything unusual about Anna's birth or early childhood? Anything that might be relevant to this situation? Susan hesitated, twisting her hands in her lap. Well, there is something I've never told Anna. It's been a heavy burden, but seeing how this is hurting her, I think it's time. Ryan leaned forward, sensing a breakthrough. Anything you can tell me might help, Ma'am. Susan's voice trembled as she spoke. Anna, she's adopted. We never told her. We loved her as our own from the very beginning, and we thought it would be best if she never knew. Ryan nodded, absorbing this new information. That could explain the blood type discrepancy. Do you know anything about her biological parents? Susan shook her head sadly. No, the adoption was closed. We were told very little. All we know is that her birth mother couldn't raise her, and we were blessed to have Anna in our lives. Anna sat in her living room, the events of the past few days swirling in her mind like a disorienting carousel. Frustration and determination warred within her. Just then, her phone rang. It was Detective Ryan. Anna, his voice came through the line. I have some news. I spoke with your mother today, and it turns out you were adopted. Anna's breath hitched. Adopted? She felt a wave of shock and confusion wash over her. Why didn't she ever tell me? She believed it was in your best interest to think you were their biological child, Ryan explained. But this revelation could be a key piece in solving this puzzle. It could explain the blood type mismatch and opens up the possibility of finding your biological parents. He paused, then continued. Why don't we start by verifying your blood type? It might be a faster way to get some answers. That could be a good place to start, Anna agreed, a flicker of hope sparking in her eyes. The following morning, Anna made her way to the clinic, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and dread. The blood test was quick and painless, and the results were promised to be delivered within a few hours. Later that day, Anna received a call from the clinic. Her blood type was confirmed to be A, aligning perfectly with Lily's. The news, while not entirely unexpected, solidified the mystery surrounding her daughter's paternity. Anna decided it was time to talk to Jared in person. She called him and asked him to meet her at their favourite park. Anna sat on a bench in the park, nervously waiting for Jared. When he arrived, he looked both anxious and hopeful. He sat down beside her. Thanks for meeting me, Jared, Anna began, her voice trembling slightly. Jared nodded, his eyes searching hers. What's going on, Anna? Jared, Anna began, her voice filled with a mix of shock and revelation. I just found out something that changes everything. My mother told me I'm adopted. She paused, taking a deep breath before continuing. But there's more. I had a blood test, and it turns out my blood type is A, the same as Lily's. Jared's eyes widened in surprise. Type A? He repeated, a wave of relief washing over him. That explains everything. And Anna, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were adopted. Neither did I, Anna said softly. But this means there's no more confusion about Lily's paternity. She's our daughter, Jared. I want to suggest we do a DNA test to confirm everything once and for all. Jared nodded, understanding the need for closure. All right, Anna, let's do the DNA test. They went to the clinic together and provided their samples for the DNA test. A few days later, they received the results. Anna held the envelope with the DNA test results in her trembling hands. Jared sat beside her, his heart pounding. They had gone through so much to get to this point, and now, the moment of truth had arrived. Anna tore open the envelope and pulled out the document. Her eyes scanned the results, and then she looked up at Jared, her face breaking into a smile. "It's true, Jared. You're Lily's father, and I'm her mother. She's our daughter," Anna said, tears of joy streaming down her face. Jared let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. Relief washed over him as he pulled Anna into a tight embrace. "I'm so happy, Anna. Finally, we have the answers we've been searching for." Anna nodded against his chest, her tears soaking his shirt. "Yes, Jared, finally." But as they sat there, basking in the relief and joy of the moment, Jared's mind lingered on one unresolved issue. He pulled back slightly, looking into Anna's eyes. "There's still one question left, Anna." Anna looked at him, her brow furrowing slightly. "What is it?" "I talked to Lisa," Jared said, his voice steady. "She told me she never said anything about having an affair with me. She never told you that." Anna's eyes widened in surprise. "But she did tell me that, Jared, and when I confronted her recently, she insisted she wasn't lying." Jared took a deep breath. "I think we need to confront Lisa together. We need to get to the bottom of this." Anna nodded, determination filling her. "You're right. We need to know the truth." They arranged to meet Lisa at a quiet cafe, choosing a table in the corner where they could talk privately. Lisa arrived, looking wary but curious. "Hi, Lisa. Thanks for meeting us," Anna said, trying to keep her voice calm. Lisa nodded, sitting down across from them. "What's this about?" Jared leaned forward, his eyes fixed on Lisa's. "We need to clear something up, Lisa. You told Anna that we had an affair, but you told me that you never said that. We need to know the truth." Lisa's face went pale, and she glanced between them nervously. I don't know what you're talking about." Anna's voice was firm but gentle. "Lisa, please. We've been through so much. We just want to know the truth. Why did you tell me Jared had an affair with you?" Lisa's eyes filled with tears, and she looked down at her hands. I was in love with Jared. When he told me he was going to propose to you, I couldn't bear it. I wanted to ruin everything, so I lied to you, Anna, and I told David to make a move on you." Anna gasped, her heart aching with the betrayal. "Lisa, how could you do that? You were my friend." Lisa looked up, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry, Anna. I was blinded by my feelings. I never meant for things to go this far. I just couldn't stand the thought of losing Jared to you." Jared shook his head, a mix of sadness and disappointment in his eyes. "Lisa, you hurt both of us so deeply. We deserved the truth." Lisa nodded, her shoulders shaking with sobs. "I know. I'm so sorry. I've regretted it every day." Anna took a deep breath, feeling a sense of closure. "Thank you for telling us the truth, Lisa. It's time for us to move on." Later that evening, Anna and Jared sat together in their living room, holding hands. They had faced the truth, and now they could finally look forward to a future together. Jared looked at Anna, his eyes filled with love. "We've been through so much, but we made it. We have our answers, and we have each other." Anna smiled, leaning her head on his shoulder. "Yes, Jared, we have each other, and we have Lily. Our family is complete." As they sat together, the weight of the past lifted, replaced by hope and love. The journey had been long and painful, but it had led them to a place of truth and reconciliation. And now, they were ready to face the future, hand in hand, as a family. After a moment of comfortable silence, Jared turned to Anna, his brow furrowed slightly. "Anna, there's one thing I still don't understand. If you thought I had an affair with Lisa, why did you agree to marry me?" Anna looked into his eyes, her expression softening with affection and understanding. Jared, even when I was hurt and confused, deep down, I always knew the man you truly are. I believed in the love we shared, and I wanted to trust that love more than anything. Marrying you was my way of holding on to that trust and hoping we could overcome anything together. Jared's eyes glistened with emotion as he squeezed her hand. You've always had more faith in me than I deserved, Anna. Thank you for believing in us. Anna leaned in, pressing a gentle kiss to his lips. We've come through the storm, Jared. Now it's time for our happy ending. As they embraced, a sense of peace settled over them. The past was behind them, and the future stretched out before them, bright and full of promise. With Lily in their lives and their love stronger than ever, they knew they could face anything that came their way. Together, they were ready to begin the next chapter of their lives, hand in hand, as a family. If you enjoyed this twist-filled journey and want to stay in the loop for more stories like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. Who knows, they might have a theory or two to add. We love reading your comments, so let us know your thoughts below. Let's keep the conversation going.